6,000 miles away, on the east coast of China, Tony owns a second factory. The battle for Kirkby has always been a David and Goliath fight. Tony's Chinese factory is 5 times bigger than the one in Merseyside. He first came to China in 2004 and purpose-built this plant 4 years ago. In the 8 years he's been there, he's seen how the country has grown to global dominance. Key to that is the dedication of the Chinese workers. In Zhejiang province, Tony's staff sleep at the factory and only go home once a year.
They are very hard-working, very aspirational, very keen to do better, of course.
Most of the workers have migrated to the East Coast to earn bigger wages and send the money home.
What's your hope for the future? What are you working towards?
以后我就是想打工，多挣点钱，回家教小孩子好好上学，就想挣到钱以后回家带孩子上好好教育孩子。
But the Chinese workforce is changing. Soaring costs in the shops mean they want more pay.
那肯定了，东西涨价了。我觉得现在挣钱就是不好挣，就是花钱贷款。
In the last 8 years, the basic pay in Tony's factory has rocketed from 20p to £1 an hour. On top of wage inflation, there's an unfavourable exchange rate for the West, shipping costs, taxes and cultural barriers.
You know, people would say that China was the cheapest place in the world to manufacture. It isn't anymore. So the fact of the matter is fairly simple. You know, China isn't going to dominate the world's manufacturing forever.
These rising costs have already led Tony to reduce his workforce in China from 200 to 50.
What we've found is that Chinese costs go up at about 8 to 10% every year. And actually, from a UK manufacturer's point of view, that's good news because it means that you progressively become more and more competitive. I mean, most of the studies say that one manufacturing job creates 4 or 5 other jobs, like service jobs, around it. You know, this country cannot live long term by selling each other cappuccinos over the internet. Manufacturing is very important.
Tony's owned a factory here for 8 years.
早上好，Hey, good to see you. 新年快乐.
And just like in Kirkby, there's a staffing crisis brewing.
Hey, 小七，你好。
你好，老板。
Helping Tony sort it out is Jai, his financial controller.
If you can tell her, I don't want her to leave because I like her work.
Tony is being held to ransom by one of his staff. Originally, he came to China as labour costs were low.
People view the Chinese workforce as quite docile and subservient, but this younger generation of Chinese has more confidence. It is cockier almost. I can't pay a crazy salary. Also, I need to pay a fair salary for the job.
Chi has worked in the warehouse for 3 years. She's been offered a 30% pay rise, but it's not good enough.
我昨天已经给过他价格那个了呀，5万了。我昨天跟他说5万了。
She said she has told you she wants 50,000 per year.
This would give her a 50% pay rise.
因为那你去年给我涨得少了，本身你说现在没什么活，那我还能接受，我可以的。要是像去年上半年一样这样忙起来的话，我觉得应该不能接受的。要么叫他重新找一个人也行。
If you can pay her that, she suggests you can find another work instead of her.
Okay. She's actually wanting a 50% pay rise in essence, and basically sticking a gun to my head and saying, well, if you don't pay me 50% more, then I'm off somewhere else. So, bye-bye. In the UK warehouse, If somebody came to me and said, oh, I want a 25% pay rise, you know, they'd be on the next bus back to Kirkby. It just wouldn't happen because there's another 100, 200, 300 people waiting to take their place. In here, it's not like that.
High wage demands aren't his only problem. It's just after Chinese New Year, and there's been a mass exodus of staff. It happens every February, as one-year contracts finish and the staff look for a better job. With one recruitment drive down in Britain, Tony's now got to embark on one in China. This is Chinese for the job centre. Hundreds of manufacturing positions are on offer.
This is bonkers. In the UK, there are more workers than jobs. In China, there are more jobs than workers.
With a labour shortage, doing business in China isn't as easy as it used to be, and Tony will have to compete with all the other employers for the best staff.
You've got literally millions of people who have the opportunity of choosing which place to go to, which factory to actually work in. You can see here, before, that was 2,000. They've now just changed it to 3,000. Somebody's just had a 50% pay rise.
3,000 RMB is equivalent to £300 a month.
Are they interested? Do they think the salary is good, or what do they think?
A lot of workers are looking for a guaranteed salary rather than pay linked to the amount they produce.
The guaranteed salary is 2,000, but also as a piece worker will mean he can earn more if he is good.
我知道，但是这是保底工资，并不是说就是说给你这个工资。那我们高的话可以拿到4000的也都有，4000多的。
What he will probably do is go around the different factories and find out which is his best option.
就是说，你可能你做服装的，你刚过去，可能还要有一点适应。
不用适应，因为我们做衣服很难的。你想，你生产衣服我都会做。我们这东西很简单。
This is the 11th day of the job fair, and it's still heaving. Within 10 minutes of being there, they've run out of leaflets.
We've had a good reaction, so that's a good start. People aren't just throwing the leaflets back at him and saying no thanks. They're having a look, they're studying, they're thinking about it.
In Britain, the factory picks the staff. But here in China, it's the staff who pick the factory. And what better way than to check out the potential workplace?
We tend to find that you get maybe groups of people together, maybe a bunch of friends or relations, sometimes husband and wife teams that actually come from maybe 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles away in the west of China to the coast, and they'll want to work together in the team.
Although recruitment is difficult and costs are rising in China, a short drive illustrates what a threat it still is.
The Hangzhou Bay Area is famous, it's the capital of home textiles manufacturing in the world. It's probably like Lancashire was in the 18th, 19th century, where we were the workshop of the world. Now, that workshop of the world, in terms of home textiles, is here.
If Tony's going to take more jobs back to the UK, it could mean leaving this area. He's decided to visit one of his fabric suppliers to do more research. And it's a very different place to Kirkby.
Hey, ni hao.
Chen is one of the factory's managers.
In this area, how many textile factories in total do you think there are?
应该差不多有1000多家。
More than 1,000 factories in this area, all making textiles?
这个包括是大大小小的。
Why is the factory here?
主要是有面料、有染厂、有辅料工厂，对我们生产操作那么起到了很大的帮助，主要也是比较运输方面比较方便。
We have the skilled workers who know the textile business. You have many suppliers who are in this area and can work together. It's also very close to the port. Also, because there's many companies here, all the buyers come to this area, so our customers also come here as well. For me to actually take jobs back from here, back to Merseyside, it's a big challenge. Why do it? This is where it's at. This is where it's all going on in textile. So it's going to be a really big challenge for me to be able to compete